Hey guys, and welcome back to 3 Layers Deep. So as you can see by the title, this video is going to be a little different. It's going to be a bit more personal because it is touching on my style. The reason I'm even making this video is because a viewer actually requested it, and I feel so like, wow, really? You wanna, you are interested? So that was just really that was really good and kind of flattering. So honey, I hope you are watching, and so yeah, let's begin, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back, way back, all right? And I'm just gonna kind of explain to you how my style has evolved, I guess, over the past several years, or even the past couple of years, or even the past year. I've always dressed nice. I would say, like, before I had kids, or even after I had my son, I was about 22 years old. I would dress very quite salacious, I guess you would say. Everything had to be fitted. I mean, from top to bottom. You know, my tops were very fitted, and most of them had some cleavage going on. And my pants were definitely like skin tight. And that's just the way I dressed for so many years. Sorry, my belt is undone. So I dressed like that for many years, and so you can say I dressed really sexy. And back then I was comfortable. I was fine. I didn't bother me. Like, I had a nice body, and if you wanted to look, well, hey, go ahead and look. And I dressed like that for a long time, and then I met Christ, and little by little my dressing kind of changed. I no longer started wearing really short skirts, because I would wear mini skirts, not like super like micro skirts, but mini skirts. So I definitely wore a lot of mini skirts. My shorts, I've never worn pony shorts, but I was one to wear short shorts, not like, coochie choking shorts, but short shorts, and belly shirts. I loved using belly shirts, and that was like back late 90s, like mid to late 90s, so it was all about belly shirts. And so yeah, that's how I dressed. So anyways, when I came to Christ, that totally changed. I started becoming more aware, because once you come to Christ, like, he'll tell you, like, no one has to tell you, hey, you shouldn't be wearing, that top, or you shouldn't be wearing those pants, or you shouldn't be wearing your skirt so low, or you shouldn't be wearing earrings, or you shouldn't be dyeing your hair when you come to Christ. Because guess what? That is like, that's dogmas. If you're in a church where they try to implement those rules, those are man-made rules. They are not they're not based, by the word. It's not in scripture. Once you start having a relationship with God through Jesus Christ, you'll start feeling convicted about certain things. And I started feeling convicted, obviously, about showing cleavage. So I stopped showing cleavage. I still wore fitted tops, but I just would not show cleavage. My skirts got longer. I no longer wear mini skirts. I wear shorter skirts, maybe like a couple inches above the knee, and down. And so that's kind of how my appearance started changing. I would say it was like a year ago really, and you guys kind of saw me evolve here on YouTube, whereas before it was kind of a bit more plain nice, but I just felt like I felt generic. I felt really generic. And what really got me into where I am today, it started by thrifting. I shunned the idea of thrifting. I thought thrifting was disgusting. I would walk into thrift stores, and like the smell, I couldn't take it. I wouldn't want to touch anything. I felt like bugs were gonna jump on me. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. So I never did it. So until one day that I kept, well, not one day, but over a period of time, I kept seeing a lot of bloggers here on YouTube speaking about thrifting, and they would bring out, they would have hauls, and they would talk about their experience. They would talk about the really cute clothes they have, and a lot of times, a lot of pieces were really, really cute, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I was still kind of like, ugh, like disgusted about, you know, the thought of thrifting. And one day after many months, I was out with my husband and we were out to lunch, and you know, he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, you know what, let's go to a thrift store. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, let's go to a thrift store. That is really what started my passion for change, I guess. So over time, I started getting pieces and like just shirts and blazers but that weren't like the normal kind of clothing that I would wear. The textures were different, the prints were different, and I started to really discover fashion per se. I started to look at my wardrobe as art, you know, instead of just going down the safe route. I started to get a bit more bolder with my choice. And sometimes my husband would look at my outfits and he would be like, that's not gonna go. I'm like, yes it is, honey, yes it is. You just watch me, I'm gonna work this. Because I would lay it out on my bed, because I was still like unsure. I was still not fully confident about you know, these bold choices I was making. But you know, getting like this here, this didn't happen overnight. I started adding a piece or two, you know what I mean, like a pair of like funky you know, knee socks, or a piece of jewelry that would be slightly off. Just little bits here and there I started to add and intertwine into my outfits until I got really comfortable and I started just really experimenting. And as you experiment with fashion, you know, especially if you're trying to get out of that generic route that you're on, you know, kind of, you dress nice but you feel like you don't stand out, that you blend in with the rest. It's kind of scary, and in the beginning I was like unsure of what my family was gonna think, because they've never really seen me dress like this ever. So I really started coming out of my shell, and I started getting like this high, like a fashion high off of it, because I started to realize, okay, I'm, you know, people are noticing, you know, and they would notice and they would compliment. I'm like, oh, this is working. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people still don't understand. Like my sister, she'll straight out and tell me, she's like, I'm not feeling that. And that's totally okay, you know what I mean? That's the reason why fashion is so awesome, because to me, honestly, it's come to a point that I don't see anyone dressed as tacky any longer. I don't even, that word is not even in my vocabulary, because really what you're expressing is who you are, how you feel inside, how you see yourself on the inside. You put that out through your hair, through your accessories, your clothing, your makeup, and that's who you are. That's you. So how can I say that you're tacky? You understand what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? So you can't look at a person and be like, oh, I don't know what the heck that girl was thinking. Did she get dressed with her, with, you know, with the blinds closed and lights off, you know, unless you're just like, okay, I mean, there's exceptions. All right, there's exceptions that you're just like, what the heck was that person thinking? And maybe people on the street think the same way about me, but it's okay, because guess what? I'm confident. I feel good. This is the best I felt. Like now I feel like I'm in my own skin. Does that make any sense? I felt like I just finally stepped out of my shell. Like I released my fashion inhibition. This past year, I've come to notice that I don't really like to match. There's always something that has to be off. Whether it's a color or a pattern, something has to be off in my clothes. Something has to stand out. There has to be a lot of contrast, and that's what I like. That is what gets me excited, you know what I mean? And this is where I am today. There's some days that I'm a bit more on the chill back side, and there's other days that I'm just like bam. And it changes on an everyday basis. My coworkers just never know what to expect. And you know, sometimes you give other people inspiration. Like my coworker, she's just like, you know, you're a bit too bold for me, but since you started working here, it makes me look at color different. You know what I mean? And color does something, and I love color. Like one color that I hardly have in my wardrobe is black. And I sound very contradictory right now because I am wearing black jeans, but black is a color that I hardly ever wear. Black, beige, and although I'm wearing a top that has white, there's still something going on with it, you know what I mean? But those kind of neutral colors, I don't really have much. I like color, I like boldness, I like prints, I like to clash, and I really don't like to match too much. And if I do match, it's sprinkles here and there. It's not, you know, I don't coordinate, you know what I mean? And there's just a certain incongruency or incoherence in my outfits that still somehow they still somehow come together in a certain way, or I make them come together in a certain way, and that really comes from my confidence. And you have to have that. So if you are trying to get out of that rut, if you want to start expressing yourself more through your choice of clothing, start small, you know what I mean? Start to look at different elements, start to look at different pieces differently. Look at your closet and see how you can rearrange your outfits with what you already have. I'm a very eclectic person. I never have a theme, and I like that. I like that every day I can express myself differently, and that's kind of how my fashion evolved. Now it's just like I wear what I want. If I like it together, I'm gonna put it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no rules. To me, there is no rules in fashion. Like, I don't care if you are a professional stylist. There is no rules to fashion, you know? The trends, I am not a trendy person. I personally don't like trends because everyone looks the freaking same, and I am so sick of seeing so many girls you know, in regular life as well as in the YouTube, and they all wear the same thing or the same style. They emulate each other, and I'm just like, oh, find yourself, you know? Stop trying to look like that girl, you know what I mean? Like, find yourself, and you will never see me emulate another girl. First of all, I care not to, and second of all, that's just not in me, you know? I have finally found who I am. I'm finally so comfortable in my own skin with my clothing. But, you know, God made us all unique, mentally, you know, spiritually, physically, and outwardly. You know what I mean? So express what he's giving you, and don't try to suppress it. You know, show your true colors. And these are my true colors. Let me tell you, I love color. I love color. I have favorite accessories, like things that you know, or one main accessory that I love, and I try to pick up as many as I can, and that is belts. Belts can really change an outfit. It can really throw it off. It can really enhance it. I mean, I like to, if I'm kind of dressed kind of not matchy because again, I don't like to be matchy, but if I'm wearing something that kind of coordinates too much, I throw a different color belt on, and immediately that breaks that up. And socks, especially right now in the winter time, you know, knee socks, I love those. I love to scrunch them down, as well as I love to layer. You will constantly, like 97% of the time, you will constantly see me wearing two shirts. It's something that I just do. It's a habit. I can't, very rarely do I go with one shirt, and if I do, there has to be a lot going on for me to just wear that one shirt. But most of the time I am doubling, you know, the top that I already have on with a vest or with another top, suspenders, whatever I can do to continue to differentiate myself when I'm dressing. Like, I know anywhere I go, my style will never look like the next girl. You know what I mean? You just have to find your own style. You have to find that and own it. You know what I mean? And I found mine, and I'm owning it. And I'm very confident. So don't be scared. Don't be scared of color. Don't be scared of patterns. And add them to your wardrobe bit by bit. You know what I mean? You can't go from, you know, being super plain to, you know, being overly bold. And I don't consider myself over the top at all. I love over the top fashion. That's just amazing. I don't think I'll ever be over the top, but I definitely distinguish myself. You know what I mean? And I'm not scared to try things. You know what I mean? So don't be scared, and start coming out of your shell and start seeing really what you were supposed to look like from the very beginning. You know, follow your own intuition. And one thing to keep in mind, if you like it, if you look in the mirror and you like the way you look, even if it looks off, because I know all this kind of looks off, but I like it. I like it. And if you like it, you're gonna own it. you know, and if even others don't agree or like, the respect. You know what I mean? And you still caught their attention regardless. You know what I mean? So it's fun. Fashion is fun. I think I just spit. I'm sorry if you saw that. But yeah, make it fun. Don't make it such an arduous task, you know? So just kind of go with your gut. Go with your intuition and see what you come up with tomorrow, you know? Look at your closet different and see what you can mix up. You'll be really surprised what you can come up with. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. God bless you. Bye.